Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Harwich Board of Water and Wastewater Commissioners meeting to order for executive session at 11 a.m. in the superintendent's office and regular session at 11:20 in the conference room on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. To enter into executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20A6, to consider a purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second. Is there a second? And I'll take a roll call vote. Alan?
Aye.
Judith?
Aye.
Doreen?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And it's a nice myself. So we'll go into the superintendent's office.
No, you guys gotta, it's just...
Nope, that's...
No, that's where they're going to restart.
Good. All right, so we're back from executive session. We discussed land acquisition, and the board agreed to support.
You get something on you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Just some lint.
Thank you for saying something. And the board took a vote in support of moving forward with the land acquisition. Next, we have a motion for the consent agenda for the minutes of July 29th, August 11th, and September 1st.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the minutes. It's just a couple of things in the minutes of September 1st, regular session, on page 2, is Superintendent Pelletier would like to have fiber optic run from the water department out to the Route 3910. The next sentence under that, it says the culvert on Walker Ave will need to be dug up and repaired. Is that culvert?
Culvert. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing was in the minutes of August 11th, is just what the status is on the Barnstable County Septic Loan Program. That's on page 2 of the 11. Where do we stand?
Are you asking for an update on that?
Yeah,
Well,
we can approve the minutes.
Yeah, we'll approve the minutes, and then Dan can touch base on that in the superintendent's report.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. New business, wastewater welcome packet, and
So in the packet is the draft of the wastewater welcome packet that we're looking to send out to our new wastewater customers. Included is a welcome letter and what we believe to be everything that the residents will need to get them up and running. So we're looking for the board's review and input. We're still waiting on a couple things to get wrapped up. Brian Dudley from DEP is away on vacation until October 18th. We're waiting for him to return to provide us with the letter authorizing us to start the collection system. And we're waiting on Chatham still to sign the operations agreement with Weston and Sampson. But once those two boxes are checked, we'll be free to send out the mailing.
Noreen.
Thank you. I know we've gone over this sentence a couple of times, but in the third paragraph, where it begins, your cost to design, I'm just wondering if it should be more like, your cost to design and install the sewer service connection is the responsibility of the owner. However, there are various programs for which you may be eligible. Just instead of ending with a "for" in the sentence, just, it's up to you, just throwing that out there. My next question is, on the checklist, I didn't honestly have time to compare the new one from the one I had looked at before. I know, I had talked to Tracy, about like the green paper, or maybe it was you, Dan, about the, the green paper being used twice. How did that all get worked out? In step 2, it mentioned green paper, and in step 1, on the stuff printed for easy identification, in step 1 it was also green. I'm trying to look quick, and I see in step 2 the word green is gone. It says green over here. Okay, I see. So they are both going to be green. All right. I saw it was gone from the body. I didn't see it was moved over to the side.
Where are you looking?
Yeah, no, I think
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the last one. I'm looking at the last one. Sorry. Okay.
in between first draft and draft that was in
All
the
right.
packet.
Yeah. Tell me the colors.
Yeah, we, in an effort to try to make the mailing cheaper, things of that nature, we're trying to print it double-sided. So where we were having a bunch of lists that were going to be on the same color sheet, because they were printed double-sided, figured it would just be easier to eliminate the color coding.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's it. It's just they'll find it by the titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
This all related, Chatham too? No issues?
This was internal to us.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They didn't provide this information to their residents.
Yeah, okay.
Just a, information question. So all the engineers and registered sanitarians and licensed utility installers, should the homeowners assume that they are bonded?
Yeah, so
Is that part of the process?
licensed utility installer application, they have to furnish to the town their insurance and workers' comp policies, things of that nature. For the engineers and sanitarians, residents can use any one licensed in the state of Massachusetts. These are just a list of, local people that do it. So there isn't any provision or, requirement that they need to meet because they're independent businesses, but we do for the utility installers.
Everybody on the installers has been doing it for years,
Yeah.
Dan, can you just touch base on Alan's question about the Barnstable?
Oh, yeah, I had that, so I had a meeting, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, with Sean O'Brien from the Barnstable County Septic Loan Program. They still have not got information back yet from SRF or other funding sources. So what we've decided to do is move forward on the Harwich specific project. So town meeting appropriated $100,000 to offset or offer lower interest loans to our residents. So what the county's doing, and I have a meeting to follow up with them tomorrow afternoon, is they're trying to identify the cost to administer the loans so that we would, as the town, would basically get charged a unit price per loan that's given to Harwich residents, and the loans would be offered at 0%. So they're thinking it could be between $500 and $1,000 for administering the life of the loan. They could bill the town quarterly, at which point we could use that $100,000 to offset that cost. So they're still doing work on their end to figure out exactly what their direct costs are, but I'm hoping that will be resolved in the near future.
Does that answer your question, Alan?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions regarding the packet? Alan?
No.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job.
No, I'm all set.
Okay.
Did you guys actually make this be sewer savvy?
Sandra
I'm impressed. I like it.
Yeah, we borrowed it from Chatham, we just recreated for our version, yeah.
They had a trifold.
And a truck.
All right, let's go on to the special town meeting articles.
So before we jump on, if incorporating Judith's edits, the board is good with us mailing the letter as packet is presented?
Yes.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
You know, congratulations.
This is going to be part of the department staffing plan. It's a condensed version that didn't make the packet. Once we get to
Okay.
item D under new business.
Thank you.
It's going to be part of the department staffing plan once.
So the first 4 articles are wastewater.
Yeah, so I spoke to Joe, I think it might have been last week or the week before sometime, and we were just thinking it would be appropriate for the Board of Water and Wastewater Commissioners to weigh in support or against the wastewater-related articles on town meeting.
Everyone had a chance to look at the articles? Or everyone understands the articles?
And also there's some information that was just published through Channel 18 and the Brooks Free Library podcast with information pertaining to the wastewater articles and the full town meeting warrant, so I can share that as well.
So we have Article 1, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sufficient sum of money to obtain engineering services needed to update the comprehensive wastewater management plan, including all costs incidental and related thereto, and to act fully thereon by the request of the Board of Selectmen. Estimated cost is $250,000. Noreen?
Can I add that, you know, in a more traditional warrant, there would have been explanations under each warrant article, and also the Finance Committee's recommendations would have been more elaborate on their reasons for approving it and what was involved. But where this was a special and shorter, it was kind of condensed. So there will be that motion book that's been given out for the past couple of years, which we'll receive when we check in at the special town meeting. And in the motion book, that's where we'll have the recommendations for the wastewater articles, which maybe we should read them for the record.
Yeah, sure.
So nothing's changed, right?
Not
Okay.
substantially.
Okay. So in the motion book, this you don't have.
No, you don't know that.
Yeah. So in the motion book, as I say, more traditional, it would have been right in. But Article 1 will say the explanation is the current CWMP was adopted in 2016. Funds approved under this article would be used to review and update various components of the CWMP, including growth assumptions, enhanced IA systems, regionalization opportunities, project cost, and timeline. Updates to the CWMP would be done in coordination with the Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act, MEPA office. So for the people who look to the motion book, that will be.
So a motion to, in favor of, to support Article 1.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And we have Article 2. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sufficient sum of money to obtain engineering services for additional wastewater collection systems in the East Harwich area, including permitting and design, including all costs incidental and related thereto, and to act fully thereon by the request of the Board of Selectmen. The estimated cost is $2.1 million. Noreen?
Okay, so in the motion book, the explanation will be fund costs related to additional wastewater collection system design. Explanation is funds approved under this article would be used to complete wastewater collection system design in East Harwich within the Round Cove and Pleasant Bay sub-watersheds, former Phase 3 area. Future wastewater flows generated through this design will be treated under the existing intermunicipal agreement with the town of Chatham. The proposed area to be sewered contributes nitrogen to an impaired water body, Pleasant Bay, regulated by a watershed permit with the Mass DEP. The design of this collection system will keep Harwich on track to meet its obligations under the watershed permit. With the prospect of a federal infrastructure bill, the town looks to develop shovel-ready plans to take advantage of any available state federal funding opportunities that may arrive. Residents should consider that a vote to fund this design will result in a future request of approximately $30 to $40 million to fund the construction. I'll just say that I feel really strongly about this article, so I'll probably be speaking in support of it at town meeting, depending on how the conversation goes. Because I know there are some people who feel that, who seem to feel that we're better off to stop and wait until the CWMP is revised. I don't feel that way at all, because I've always wanted to see the loop in Phase 2 and Phase 3 finished to the proper amount, for our loads, so we can continue making use of our IMA. And to lose that time, I want to see the two things going on at the same time, the CWMP revision and progress in what was called the old Phase 3 area.
Yeah, not only that, this gives us the upper hand on our nitrogen load into Pleasant Bay,
Right.
especially around Cove.
Right.
So I think it's a very positive.
All right, so you and I will be, yeah.
Yeah.
And also just the fact that every few years in construction and supply costs, whether it's shovel-ready or, whether it's grants or not, is a good thing to be ahead, so.
Yeah, but just by doing this, just the things that we have here will give us a few years out, we can concentrate elsewhere.
That's right,
But
Yeah.
I think it's a very positive conclusion to East Harwich.
yeah.
Judy?
Just for clarification for the public, the $2,100,000 will not change? Or is that a good estimate?
So that is a not to exceed cost. So the hope is that we won't spend 2.1 million. It will be less. But that is the conservative ceiling that we're looking at.
Yeah,
I just wanted
sure.
to,
It's a big thing.
And the same is true that Article 1 is also not to exceed. So if we don't run up into that, then we won't spend it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. A motion to support Article 2?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, Article 3. To see if the town will vote to raise, appropriate, or transfer from available funds a sufficient sum of money to obtain engineering services for a wastewater collection system of approximately 5,500 linear feet of gravity sewer main on Continental Drive and Woodard Drive, including permitting and design, including all costs incidental and related thereto, and to act fully thereon by the request of the Board of Selectmen. Estimated cost $400,000.
So the explanation is, at the time this article was developed, the town was not in possession of the design drawings for the above referenced streets. The town has since obtained the design drawings and recommends taking no action on this article. So I'd make a motion to indefinitely postpone.
All right. So you're making a motion to indefinitely postpone?
The article.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Article 4. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds a sufficient sum of money to obtain engineering services for Route 28 wastewater collection system, including design and permitting, and all costs incidental and related thereto, and to act fully thereon by a request of the Board of Selectmen. Estimated cost is $200,000.
It's a long one, but it's the last one. So the explanation is, Funds approved under this article would be used to complete the wastewater collection system design on Route 28 in West Harwich from the Dennis Town Line to the Herring River Bridge. Mass DOT is planning to repave this stretch of Route 28 in 2024. By completing the design and partnering with Mass DOT on construction, the town can save considerable money on trench paving and road restoration costs. Once Mass DOT completes its paving project, a road cut moratorium will be placed on this stretch of Route 28 for 5 years. It is the intent of this article to fund the design of a dry pipe to be installed for future use in sewering in the Herring River watershed. Residents should consider that a vote to fund this design will result in a future request of approximately $2 to $3 million to fund the construction.
And there's no action? There was no vote for...
Well, we can go ahead and make a motion to support Article 4.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so some department website, URL.
So with Water Wastewater Commission and the fact we're going to be sending our letters out shortly, felt it would be appropriate to incorporate wastewater in some fashion to our department's website and URL. So we were just looking to the board. Sandy did some preliminary research to see what was available. In the packet we have 4 potential options. Certainly can explore others, but initially Harwich Water and Sewer, Harwich Water Wastewater, Harwich Public Utilities, Harwich Utilities. Happy to consider one of those or any other recommendations the board may have.
You know, we always struggle with wastewater versus sewer. We've been struggling with it for 10 years, and so I don't know what to say. We tried to keep the word sewer out of a lot of things and stick to wastewater, because wastewater is a broader word, you know, than sewer. But then, you know, some of the regulations and other things had to be called sewer. So I don't know what to say. I don't like public utilities because I think it's too easily confused with DPU. That's
Yeah, I
just
don't
my
like that.
opinion.
What's wrong with Harwich Water, Wastewater.com?
Yeah,
Nothing.
Right to the point.
that might be our best bet.
Well, at least it doesn't tie us into sewer because we don't know what will be happening 15 years from now.
Somebody else worry about it.
And it's likely, at least in the short term, I think this will ultimately just be a redirect to
Okay,
Harwich
yeah.
Water, but at least that way it will be something that's public facing.
What did the staff like?
I don't know, we really,
I like wastewater.com.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but we probably still, regarding our email addresses, potentially keep them at harwichwater.com.
Right.
But to just get, get the URL, harwichwaterwastewater.com, like Dan said, and then point it to Harwich Water. So that way, if anybody looks it up, they'll be redirected to our water page.
we can keep
I
the
don't know.
email addresses easy to type.
Keep it simple.
Right. I would agree. All right,
The Harwich Wastewater it is.
sounds good. All right, department staffing.
So, I had this put in the packet. For those who may not be aware, we do have 2 pending retirees that are going to be coming before us in January. So, what I was looking to do is get the board's approval to move forward with hiring their replacements in advance of the retirement. We have 2 relatively new hires, and it will be 2 brand-new hires, and we're looking to get them in really with a couple months to shadow existing staff before the move takes place after retirement. In the packet, or in what Tracy passed out, you can see our original operating budget, or labor budget, was $1.27 million. After considering the retirement payouts and things of that nature, step increases, and adding the 2 additional new hires, we would be looking at a revised budget of $1.266 million, so we'd be about $4,000 under what our original estimate was.
With the 2 new hires?
With the 2 new hires. This is also considers us not hiring our seasonal employees until July, when we get our new budget, so we would refrain from bringing them on before July unless, you know, there's money in the budget for overtime for emergency response, water main breaks. There's a potential, if that line isn't utilized, we could consider bringing seasonal people on sooner, but as a stopgap at this point, holding off until July would give us the funds to get the 2 full-time people on board with some time to shadow.
And what positions would the 2 new employees be taking?
So before I advertise the positions, I'd like to talk with some of the union staff to see if there's any desire internally. If there's no desire internally to move, I would be looking to bring people in either, you know, labor or just above entry level. If we can find someone licensed, that would be great. It's less training we have to do.
So the 2 people that we have leaving,
Yeah.
hold what positions now?
Treatment operator and primary distribution operator.
So for our people in-house to transfer into those positions, they need licenses in that area.
So we have done that work. So we have Dana right now shadowing Byrne. Him and Dave both received the appropriate treatment licenses probably a year ago at this point. So we're licensed in both divisions, distribution and treatment.
Okay.
So we'll be backfilling those.
Okay.
How long is the shadow gonna go for?
So if we were to get them, with the board's approval, we'd be looking to hire, you know, advertise in November. If we could get them on November, December, the retirees are going out in January, so it'd be about 2 months of overlap.
Makes sense to me.
So with,
Smart.
you know, the difficulty in getting people to apply for work, do you have any new magic you can work, or, you know, it's,
Yeah, we've been brainstorming. You know, there's a couple things that, you know, some systems do. Bill Ricca, as an example, will download the Massachusetts Division of Professional Licensure database for all operators with that license and do a postcard mailing to every single one of them. You know, aside from that, there's the regular posting on the associations, Mass Water Works, Barnstable County, Plymouth County.
are either of the positions, I didn't hear everything, ground level, or do they have some kind of a license when they come?
I expect, based on our most recent hiring, that it's unlikely we're going to get someone with licenses.
Right.
One consideration could be reaching out to the tech school, plumbing major,
that's true.
seniors.
Yeah.
You know, they could come here from the plumbing major and work here for the rest of their life and make a career. So that's an option as well.
Not that I want to rock any boats, but do you normally offer this to other employees in the town once you're beyond the water department?
It would be posted and shared, you know,
I see.
townwide.
Yeah.
Just because it's a union job, I think it has to be offered in-house
I
first.
think there's still, subject to their approval, and I've done this in the past with the union, they do have the 2-week stipulation in there. If no one is seeking to move into one of those positions, with authorization from the union, I could advertise externally simultaneously.
Geez, I would think there's somebody here who wouldn't want to move on.
I would
Yeah,
too.
I would too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Bristol Community College has,
Right.
you know, they're revamping their program, and then the
Right.
tech up in Bourne.
Historically, that's the way it's gone.
Yeah.
All right.
If they've got housing.
I did have preliminary discussions with administration on this as well. They were in support of the concept, but, you know, obviously would like to see the budget as presented today. So with the board's approval, I would bring that back to administration as personnel director and seek to get these advertised.
All right. How about if we take a motion to support?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we do support the hiring of 2 new employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I guess if just anyone following along, just for clarification, these are not adding 2 positions to the department. We're staying neutral with respect to our numbers. This is just an overlap for training purposes.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, far too often people, we lose people and we bring new people in and they just...
Starting fresh.
Yeah, I just think it's a benefit for us as well. All right, solar revenue.
So I believe at the last meeting, it might have been you, Gary, who had inquired as to what the solar revenue was. So I believe Sandy prepared the report in the packet.
Well, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Any questions about their solar revenue?
Sun.
It'd be nice if there were more from the landfill, but
Yeah.
c'est la vie.
Don't get Alan going. Auto filling station, Dan.
Yeah, so at the selectmen's meeting last night, there was a lease agreement that the board approved between the town of Harwich and the Harwich Chamber of Commerce for the bottle filling station at the chamber on Route 28. We have received the bottle filling stations, and I'm in coordination with DPW to get those installed and plumbed up. The lease agreement was kind of the big one needed to get that established if we get the one installed on 28. One of the other locations is across from the Pleasant Lake General Store at the little parking lot along the bike trail. Conservation is currently proposing to do an upgrade, an improvement project there with a set of stairs and a pavilion, and some bike racks. So I'm planning on holding off on installing that filling station until I can get a site plan of what they're looking to do. I don't want to have to put it in and then move it. Because these stations are to be winterized, I don't expect we'll be seeing them before the winter because it's middle of October now, so we'll be working to have them online for the spring.
Kind of a silly question. I understand the ones at Town Hall and the other places, but how do you keep the one up by Pleasant Lake from freezing?
We'll drain it. So it's going to have a meter pit, so we will drop the meter and then drain. The DPW will be the one winterizing, as they winterize like the bathhouses and stuff.
Oh, I see. So none of these will be available in the winter? or
Not in the
just-
winter, no.
Even the one inside Town Hall?
The ones that's
Okay.
separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
These are all exterior.
Yeah. Okay.
Fall flushing.
Go past. And this couple. All right, fall flushing. So we do have crews out. We are flushing. Right now they're in South Harwich, moving next towards East Harwich. And then we're going to set ourselves up for a spring flushing in Harwich Port over towards Dennis. So we're out flushing actively. So be on the lookout for signs.
I see the signs. And lastly, billing update.
Turn it over to Will.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to give everyone an update for our quarterly billing that is historically the largest of the year because it represents our summertime use. And with the rate change that went into effect as of July 1, and we have a new meter reader as well in training. And so with all the changes that have gone on, notices on bills, and so forth, everything has gone relatively smoothly.
Good.
So it was a good reading period, and our online bill vendor is also doing a sweepstakes for people to sign up and pay online to promote auto payment, paperless, and they have an opportunity to even win like a mini car, like a Mini Cooper, and an additional to other prizes as well to help promote online registration and music. So, yeah, and the numbers, I guess, look great, even though we had like the mandatory watering ban in place. Unfortunately, going through the reports, we did have a few leak accounts that were quite substantial. And pretty much all of them have to do with irrigation systems. So those are quite large, and we're still finding them now because people are opening their bills now and they're discovering, and we're still going through reports. But what's really coming in handy are the e-quarter meters, because yesterday we went out and were able to data log a couple of them that were questionable and that provided us with information to confirm the leaks and down to the minute when they happened. So we're able to provide that to the customer so that they can just take that and troubleshoot at their property and pinpoint exactly what happened. So if they do come before you, we have more information to provide. So the more we can get into the system for the e-quarter meters, the better. It benefits us as well as them.
It's been excited, I would hope, right?
It's great
I
information.
mean, shocked at first, but then,
But at least it allows them to have more information to go by to do something about it, the issue. So.
I would think it would make them feel more confident. You know, when you hear you have a leak, it's hard to believe it's so much, you know, gallons and then money, and, you know, it's just hard to visualize. But then when you can get it down, you know, right to a specific situation, it would make me feel better, even though you...
As long as they don't rely entirely on us providing that
Right,
information.
right.
It's just so they remain, you know, proactive to make sure everything's okay at their properties and they properly winterize and blow out their systems and things like that. But it's certainly, more information the better.
And,
Sorry.
I was away and haven't opened my water bill yet. So that information about signing up online for auto pay, is that in this bill?
Unfortunately, the vendor only let us know about it about a week before we sent the bills out, so they
Okay,
didn't give us
yeah,
much
yeah.
warning. It is on the website, our website, as well as their website, and also I modified the email notices for everyone in the system, so when the bills were generated, they have that message in there as well. So we have tried to put it out there as much as we possibly could, but it was too late to get a buck slip into this mailer.
Is there any savings to doing it online as far as like,
Well,
because
actually, yes.
mailings
If you pay with a check, it's actually cheaper than using a postage stamp. And as you know, the postage just went up again.
Yeah.
I think it's now 53 cents or 54 cents, and online via check is only 40 cents. Credit cards, they do charge a 2.95% service fee on the total bill. So in most cases, it's always more expensive by credit card. But by check, it's easy, it's affordable, and it gives an option. So,
We could save a ton in postage annually if we got
We could.
100%
yeah,
compliance.
that's like what, 25,000?
It 20,
24,
yeah.
25,000?
It's, yeah,
So, yeah.
it's up there.
Yeah.
If our postage is a lot more than the bill, the cost of printing and
Wow.
the bills.
So, you know, first time I've looked at one of these quarterly reports. Is there a way on this that tells you what the previous quarter was? No, okay. What was, does this tell us gallons or just money?
on the left side, it will have a total usage consumption area. To the left of the total monetary amount.
Third column in from after the description. If you're looking at the first page, it says
Okay.
usage dollars over usage.
Right? Yeah,
So the top one is dollars, second one. So if you're looking,
so what's the gallons?
so if we're looking right here, and this isn't by a count, it's summed differently, but this is $68,124.50 for 14,230,000 gallons.
Okay.
I don't know how those groups are populated though.
And so, on the total page, it's 1,000,004 over 357 million gallons?
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow. That's a lot of gallons.
yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you.
If I may add something. Another change to this bill is we are now adding sewer rates on that. So now we have water and sewer with the caveat that you'll only be billed for that, when you become a user for the sewer. So just to prep those accounts that are about to come online, just so that our rates are.
So, 6 months from now, when we may have 1 or 2 people hooked up, will that be a separate piece of paper, a separate bill, or a separate?
No, it will be a different line item under the water. So
I
it's going to be
see.
sectioned out, as long as everything goes according to plan. It will be the water charges and any services they might have on site, seasonal, service type. And then below that, we'll have the sewer charges, deduct meter, and so forth, so that they can see line by line,
Right.
depending on the charge code, what they're being billed for. And then they can reference that to see how we break it down by tier and base charge.
And so then when the money comes in, it will be separated into wastewater fund, water fund, other places. Okay.
And will that go on everyone's bill and just have zeros for the wastewater, or will it just go on the bill for the folks that are getting hooked up?
Right, so when the account becomes active, that will prompt the system to pull those charge codes in. If they're not active, they're not going to see anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that just keeps it cleaner,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the majority of our customers won't be connected to the
Right.
so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And it looks like our pumping for August and September are both down about 30 million gallons.
Irrigation.
Well, yeah, but we were down 30 million.
Yeah, 30 million.
From the water restrictions.
And the rain.
That helped too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being down, that doesn't bother us revenue-wise?
No.
Okay.
And one of the things, actually, funny, I had a rate setting class last week for my continuing ed, and, they talked about change in demand due to COVID or wet years or, otherwise, and, how you protect yourself against that. And I spoke up because I think the way we do it is appropriate for preventing concern when we have less pumping. And that's, when we build our budget, we build it around the conservative wet year. So when we take that historical usage and we build a low confidence and a high confidence for what we think we're going to pump, we've been projecting our revenues based on that low use year. So that protects us in those instances.
Coming from the electric industry, I think it's a better method because, the amount of things that were built into the purchase power and the demand were overly, no lay person could understand them, and it really wasn't fair, but.
All right, anything, Dan, superintendent's report.
Yeah, so a couple updates. You may have seen the guys out back. They are working to run a new conduit from the utility pole at Chatham Road out to pole 6 to run primary electric through the easement that we have here, and then run conduit out to the Route 39 tank so that we can get our Route 39 tank onto the fiber network that connects T1, this well field at 196, the well field at Depot Road, and then this, getting the tank online will give us really a full redundant fiber backup to our water system. And then the conduit, if you've taken a look at the road up there, you can see there's a lot of trees that are dead men standing, kind of waiting to take us out. So that will resolve some of that potential. Update on Hardin Lane. I don't recall the last meeting or last time we discussed, this is where we have a wastewater pumping station at the bottom. We were waiting for the gas company to get the gas service in, so they were able to do that. I have the town's plumber from DPW is going to be looking to plumb in the gas service to the gas generator on Hardin Lane either this week or next, so we'll be in a pretty good spot after that to operate that system. DEP is planning to come down next Wednesday to do the inspection on construction contract number 2 in East Harwich. So that's the RJV contract along Church Street in that section. I'm happy to report that we have officially begun the elements upgrade. So we've been waiting on this for about a year, and we had a meeting earlier this week. They're actually going to be looking to port all our data over and get into some training on that software, hopefully next week or the following week. We also have the driller for the Well 10 source exploration is going to be coming out on the 25th. I think I may have reported a different date previously, but they were held up because of an environmental review. There's an eastern box turtle habitat out there, so by waiting till the 25th, it gets us out of the season where we would need to have a person out there watching for turtles. And then 2 other things, just as we talked about a quarterly revenue projection or update, just to plant the seed that we should, or we plan to do another rate increase effective this upcoming July, based on alternative G that the board supported. So that we will need to consider, and at the same time, we may want to consider some policy revisions. So a couple of the things that we wanted to look at is a policy for wastewater customers who have a well for not just irrigation but whole home use. How we want to handle those. My first kind of thought is that they could be simply assessed a base rate. The base rate that the board established for sewer fees included the first 9,000 gallons of, or 8,000 gallons of consumption in that tier 1. So if someone has a private well that they're using for consumption and irrigation, I think that the base rate, including the domestic use, would probably be appropriate in that instance. So we would need to memorialize that in the regulations. Alternatively, I know some towns will mandate that the well customer install a water meter that could be read inside the home so we can generate a sewer bill, but where we are granting the first tier of usage along with the base rate, figured it would save them the cost of putting a meter in.
Can I ask a quick question? Are there towns that have, as their sewer systems grow, implemented that all homeowners must use town water if they're situated along a line?
I haven't heard them or seen people mandate that they connect to the town water system, but I have seen them mandate the meter get put in on the private well.
Okay,
So that,
thank you.
and I think that was all I had. I don't think so.
Noreen?
I probably should have asked this earlier, but when do you expect the packets to go out?
Fingers crossed. When Brian Dudley from DEP returns next Monday, he will swiftly draft the authorization for us to start our collection system. We're waiting on that letter from
Right.
Brian. I'm hoping if we get it sometime next week, if I get confirmation that Chatham has signed the Weston and Sampson agreement, then we're hit and send.
Okay. And any idea, like, how many customers, wastewater customers, we might have, like, over the next 2 or 3 months before they kind of shut down for installing services for the winter?
I don't see that.
Wild guess.
I don't see that happening,
What?
shutting down.
Okay, they'll go all through.
As long as there isn't thick frost, they'll probably keep going.
Well, then, how many do you expect over the next few months anyway?
So this is a total guess.
Right.
I know that there are a number of properties that have been allowed to transfer with the provision that within 45 days that the sewer's available, they make the connection. I would say 20 to 40.
Okay.
That's aggressive, but, there's a small handful that I know are under that stipulation that they have to connect. And then we've been getting calls that, some people are itching to get it done, so.
Thank you.
I should temper that with, it also is really contingent upon the registered sanitarian and engineer's ability to,
Right.
their workload if they can get the designs done, but.
Dan, what's your ETA to get the conduit up and running?
So right now, we've only purchased the conduit. It's likely that we will, depending on how much we have as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year or into next fiscal year, we'll be looking to purchase the wire and the fiber. I haven't put an end date on it in my head yet.
Work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's so long as that we can identify funds that, we'll continue to progress on it.
Right. Anything else?
That is it.
Commissioners report. Anybody?
Coming up on November 1st, I got this email for a meeting with the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's Monday. Would you be available to do that? Because Monday night just not gonna work.
What is it about?
It's just the annual, all boards meet with the selectmen, just give them a review.
You could go along.
I thought that they were doing that in a different format this year.
I don't believe I was copied on the memo, so.
I just got an email today.
Okay. I thought, I don't,
do the talking.
I know I heard them talk about being able to just write it and not have
Well,
to.
they always ask for a written summary. And then
No, I know, but they had a whole section of a meeting about changing everything this year, so,
I know they
I can't read it
discussed
then.
a little bit last night that I think the instruction to some of the boards and committees was to write, what their charge is and if there should be any changes to the charge.
Right,
But-
whatever.
Up to,
Hallucinating.
That's not in this room.
yeah.
All right, next meeting.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I just was gonna comment on the rain in September. What a boost it up.
Yeah.
Almost 10 inches?
It's and it was a handful of days too.
Yeah. Boy, I talk about needing.
Yeah.
But that, you put it dent? Did you put it
Yeah, I
dent?
mean, it kind of stopped the downward,
Right.
but it didn't do much to bring it back in the other direction.
So just flat line?
Yeah.
All right, where are we? We're in October. So, 2 weeks out. Week of the 25th to the 29th, 27th. Does that work for everybody?
I have that one, it's my last Wednesday afternoon problem, but, I mean,
Is
it
it
seems...
27th?
That's my last class, but
Okay.
it seems to be working out. I mean, that starts at 1.
Okay. Does that work for everybody?
11?
11?
27?
Yeah.
Tried to stop at 12:30.
I'll never sign up for another Wednesday class again.
All right.
Is Russ gonna be at the town meeting?
Yes.
Anybody else we need?
I have invited Brian Dudley from DEP to attend.
Are you presenting the wastewater articles?
I am standing by the microphone, awaiting an opportunity to speak.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I don't know who's, I think Finance Committee will, present, I think, open it up to, and then,
Yeah, they usually just read,
Yeah.
a sentence or two.
Routine discussion.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
Anything else? We're good? Motion to adjourn?
so move.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Oh, that was a catching up.